Hi, good morning. How is everyone today? I've been absent a little while. I've been battling styes in both of my eyes. First this one, then this one. I went bike riding about a week and a half ago. Ended up with the stye from the water that, whatever's in there. Shall I say more? And then, of course, somehow I transferred it over to this eye, and this is really bad. So I was looking up things to do to combat it and found, yes, I found that if you take honey and chamomile tea, because they're both antiviral, put them into a little bit of water, cold water, and then put them on your eyes as packs. It really helps your eyes for infection and the styes, because that was one of the things recommended when I looked it up. And I can say that it's really helped since I have done that. So, but there's why I haven't really been around too much, and I really haven't been wanting to make videos. So that was just, okay, well, now I have an excuse, which is terrible, but true, because I'm not going to lie about it. So, what are we talking about today? I figured today we would talk about things that are happening locally with me, around me, and this reality. We're going to be talking about, one of the things is the reservoir where I like to go and walk every now and then. And we'll be looking at this. Yes, this is what I have found underneath the reservoir. So, looks like to me there is a huge military base underneath this reservoir. And do you know when they make the tunnels that you can drive your vehicles through? It's the same kind of material where this is for the water. And of course they have this little bitty house that's on the water that looks strange with an elevator shaft that goes down to the base. The base continues on this way, and there's ways to go out. It's just the craziest thing. But, yeah, there's this little platform that you can walk that goes to the land, and then it's in the water, and it's got razor wire, and it's electrified, and it's got locking things on it. It's really quite something. All to go into this little house because it's the elevator to get down, a quick elevator thing. So I thought that was rather interesting. I think I might post this one in my descriptions. So, and I'm like, wow, they have got bases everywhere. Oops, my camera fell. Let me pull this up again. Yes, bases are absolutely everywhere. It's just you having to figure out what's going on. I do know that they put up a couple years ago cameras everywhere. There's cameras now on a reservoir. What? There's nothing to destroy. It's a reservoir, supposedly, only. So after I was looking at the reservoir, some other stuff started coming in. And this was the next thing that I saw. How interesting is this? So when you have your little underground secret bases, they're like bullseyes. They have zonings on them. The middle where the reservoir is the red, and it goes all the way out to the outside here, which is 30 miles. So if anything happens, if you're in or near any kind of a base, this is how basically it's set up. So anything outside of the 30 miles is the cold zone. It's not considered anything. It's once you get into starting in the green, and then the yellow and the orange, and then the red, of course, for your military activity around any kind of on top or underground facility. And I thought that was rather interesting that this came up, and it's like, huh. So the next thing I wanted to talk about, I could go more into the reservoir, but it's a base, it's underground, it's the facade, what have you. So the next thing I wanted to talk about, what's happening in my reality, is lottery tickets. The lotteries are off the scale in the USA. Right now, and I've been keeping track of this, the Mega Millions is at 1.2 billion, sure to go up, and nobody's winning. They're even reusing numbers from the last drawing. It's getting so bad and obvious. So I started looking into it. I'm like, what is this all about? Let me look into the lottery because it's blaring in my face and everyone's talking about it and blah, 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 blah. Well, here we go. This, I will probably put this in my description also. We have 3 umbrella corporations, BlackRock, Vanguard, and State Street over here. And they do quite different things. BlackRock is into the lotteries and the bridges. And of course, BlackRock is AI run. The other 2, well, they're into human trafficking, drug trafficking, and all contrabands. Isn't that lovely? So it's quite horrible. So I started looking into the lottery and I was thinking, well, BlackRock has lost quite a bit of money lately. And if you needed to recoup a chunk of change, you're going to make sure that you're going to entice people to give you money. Basically, hand it over freely. And here we go into Willy Wonka and the Charlie Factory, the golden ticket. There are such correlations to that, it's unreal. Do you have the golden ticket? The lottery ticket to win the 1.2 plus billion, whatever it's going to be when they finally let it through? Just know that that is run by AI. And if you think for 1 minute that is legitimate, it is a bilking system. You are never going to win. I'm sorry, you're not going to. It is a bilking system. Stop feeding the Cabalists your money and AI. And then it's like, well, does anybody ever really win these lotteries? And I'd say yes, but if it's a really insignificant amount, and I mean insignificant, like anything from $1 million under, and then at that point, remember, AI will determine who will get that and how many, because it's also picking the numbers. You know, they put the facade up that the balls are being picked right there in front of you and you can see it. Yes, and it's legitimate. No, it's not. What do you think is inside of those balls? They have things inside of them that are magnetized and they're already picked. It doesn't matter. I mean, the magnetized balls are, it's all rigged. Gambling is a rigged thing. Just know that the house always wins and you don't. It'll feed you back a little bit to keep you coming, but in the end, you'll lose in the end. You always do. And most people that gamble think, I could just get one more, just one more. You're feeding the cabal. You're feeding AI, BlackRock. And of course, the bridges. I will say this about the bridges. Right now, there's a bridge. It's on Route 40 where I live, going across Cecil County, Maryland to Harford County, Maryland. And they're underneath investigations and a huge lawsuit has been brought up against them. They are now, because they're connected to BlackRock and BlackRock needs money, billing people for crossing the bridge, and they haven't crossed the bridge. It's gotten so bad that they're billing people who have sold vehicles and put their tags back to the NVA, and they're still getting billed. People who have easy passes are getting billed. Both my brothers have been billed fraudulently. They're even going back 2 years and saying, you owe this from 2 years ago. They take pictures every time you go across that bridge, whether or not you have an easy pass or you don't have an easy pass. Even if you paid cash at one point before they changed it out, they've got your picture with your tag on it. And you'll get a bill in the mail accordingly. My brother Kai has gotten 2 Flim Flam Sham bills. And my brother Chris has gotten 1. But a lot of people have been getting bills who haven't crossed the bridge in years. Or people who sold cars. And now they're being billed for it again. Which is why the lawsuit is going on. All going back to BlackRock. So it's getting bad. It's getting bad. So basically, I'll show you again, but I think I'll put this in my description. This is the next Flim Flam Sham, but the big one is the lottery, and the bridges are bad too. I mean, the billions and billions of dollars they get off of a bridge, and I think most of the bridges are on the East Coast. When you have no choice but to cross a bridge to get to one part of the state or what have you, it's pretty pathetic when the amount of money taken in from those bridges, you know, we're talking billions and nothing really goes back into the infrastructure, very little. They've even gotten to where they've gotten rid of all the people who work in the toll booths so they won't have to give out any money or pensions or what have you. Now it's all automated. It's quite hideous. So our everything is being more exposed so we can actually recognize it, to see that everything's a flim-flam sham, and the only thing we are here to do in this snow globe is to work and slave until we die if they have it their way. And that's how it's been. You work and slave. Did you realize back in the 60s, in the 1960s, it only took one person to work in a house, to have a home, to have vehicles, to have a pension and a retirement? Now I don't care if two people are working 2 jobs. You're barely going to make it. You really are. And most people, well, this reality was designed that if you're, oops, it's going down again, and that if you are pretty much evil, you will be rewarded for being an evil, you know what, SOB. But we're changing that now. Everything is coming out. We need to recognize it, and for those who have eyes to see, there it is. You can't even hide this stuff anymore. It's so blatant. Stop buying lottery tickets. You are funding the cabal. You are not going to win. And if you do, for some reason, win, it's going to be so minuscule, a couple of dollars, you're always going to be in the hole. But we're going to go to the next thing. And here we go. Here's the next thing. Who's winning those lotteries? Those big lotteries. Could they possibly be automatons? So that they just keep the money? I mean, do you realize in our reality how many automatons are actually there? I mean, we're looking at politicians. What's on my list? Politicians, military, Hollywood, CEOs of corporations. Oh my gosh, people, wake up. Who is human? Who's left to be human in our reality anymore? Where is your hard-earned money going? Do you really buy into you're going to win that big lottery ticket? Because, stop feeding the cabal members. Because that's what it is. Yes, I would like to say that, just let me go back to this. The Babylonian cursed money system. How will you ever win in that system? We need to start opening our abilities and manifesting what we want through the ether. Here, we are all powerful gods, and we need to start waking up to that. Raise your vibration so these things can start opening up. Stop looking for a quick fix. Oh, that lottery ticket's going to make everything good for me. Is it? How long have you been playing that damn system? Have you ever won? And if you have, how much have you put in that you've gotten back? I bet it's only a fraction of what you've put in. And I'm talking all of it. The scratch-offs, the lottery tickets, I just don't know, gambling houses. You're feeding the cabal. It's as simple as that. And they're banking that you're ignorant to the scam. And it's as simple as that, too. The house always wins. How do these gambling houses get so much money? It's banked on your ignorance. I don't know what else to say. So, there we go on that. I will probably be making a video next week, a live video with my daughter Wendy. I don't know exactly when, so I will post it. And we'll see how that goes. Well, there it is. So my eyes are healing. I'm still having a little problem with this one. You can see it's just so swollen. And the thighs are horrible. I try not to go into the rain. It's so toxic. Oh my gosh, I feel sorry for all the animals that have to live in nature. I can't even imagine what they're having to combat. So, well, everybody, on that note, raise your vibration. Have a great day. Start thinking about everything in your reality that you've taken for granted and reassess everything. And I'll see you guys on my next video, guys and gals. Bye.